Hey guys, what's going on? It's TrainerOblivio checking back in with another challenge video. I know that it's been a second since I've been on the last challenge video, and I certainly apologize for that. But, you know, now that I'm clear of everything, all of my responsibilities and duties that I had previously, I am back on. I know you guys have seen me over on Twitch. I'm super excited to be back. You're going to see me more here on YouTube as well. I finally moved out, and that means I'm going to finally have more time, more money, and more dedication for the channels, and I'm super excited to see where it goes. But anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the video. So, on my last challenge video, you guys said you wanted to spice it up a little bit, and so I went ahead and I chose my own challenge. And also, in part, I made a challenge that was also given to me in the last video by our very own Acevedo. He said no script for the challenge for me, and so of course I'm going to go ahead and no script this entire video. I've actually gotten into the habit of doing that more and more as the channel progresses. But anyways, as you guys know, I will be choosing a Pokemon or a set of rules or a combination of the two, which will set a challenge for myself. I must adhere to these rules no matter what, because to the contrary, I will fail. Simple enough, right? So in this video, we will see if I can beat Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu with only shiny Pokemon and no script. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the rules and boundaries set up for this playthrough. Okay, so for this playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, we're going to be doing the following. I'll only be able to use shiny Pokemon in battle. I won't be able to use any other kind of Pokemon, and of course in this game they got rid of the need for HMs, so we really won't need any HM users on our team at all anyways. I cannot use aid from cheats, save states, codes, or items. Items outside of battles and held items are okay, of course. This being on my Switch, I can't really even use any cheats, so there goes that. And then of course, in order for us to consider the challenge completely beaten, we will have to reach the very ending of the game and the Elite Four and defeat the champion Trace so that we can be the true victors of this region. I want to start off by pointing out two facts before we start the challenge run. First and foremost, as you can clearly see, half of this footage I did do live and I did do over on my Twitch. Links in the description below if you guys want to hang out with me over there. However, what's important about that is that I did manage to get a lot of the nicknames and a lot of the cool stuff for the Pokemon in this run from you guys. So once again, thank you to you guys. Thanks for the love over on Twitch and all my other socials. I really appreciate it. With this said, however, the other point I wanted to make out is that this game is incredibly cinematic. I know that we've had an abundance of Gen 1 remakes, but this one, in terms of cinematics and like story, I feel like this is the best one. It really fully encaptures everything that happens in Kanto, and even though it's set in, I want to say, I don't know if it's the same timeline. I think it's a separate timeline because it looks like the events have shifted from when Red and Blue were originally the heroes. Regardless, it's a really cool game, so if you really want to pick it up and kind of just have something to look at, this is definitely the way to go. I will say, however, this game is most certainly baby's first Pokemon game. It's so free. It's really given. Anyways, with my rant out of my system, we're going to go ahead and actually continue with the gameplay. So in the very beginning, I go ahead and catch the Pikachu that, as you do in the original yellow version, you actually have this same scene where Oak goes and finds a random Pikachu that you have to capture. That then becomes your first partner, and as following suit, it's the same case here with Let's Go Pikachu. In this game, after choosing a Pikachu, however, we go ahead and we nickname it Sorry Dude, because we're sorry, dude, we're never going to use you ever in this playthrough. We're actually going to go ahead and try to find as many shiny Pokemon as possible. And, of course, the starter, if I'm not mistaken, in this game is shiny locked. So there's no way to really get a shiny starter Pikachu. So, with this being said, we then go ahead and embark on our task after doing all of the intro nonsense. We are actually going to go ahead and set up our very first capture combo with the first Pokemon that we find, and that's Pidgey. So, if you guys don't know, there is a certain capture rate that applies to the Pokemon Let's Go games. It's very specific to them, and it's actually really weird because over the years the community has found out that the way that we used to do the capture combos is completely not it, and for some unknown reason we've just been getting really lucky with the shinies in this game. Regardless, I was not privy to this at the time of recording, so I was doing the old method, which is get a capture combo of about 31 Pokemon, and then that will set you up for finding a shiny. That's what I had thought originally anyways, but that has changed since. You actually have to continue the capture combo so that you can actually increase your odds of getting that shiny Pokemon. However, after getting the capture combo of 31, we then go ahead and proceed through all of Viridian City and the first couple of routes till we get to the Viridian Forest. Now, I specifically chose a Viridian Forest because I really wanted a shiny starter. I wanted a shiny Bulbasaur. I actually haven't had a shiny Bulbasaur, and I wanted this to be the one that I actually found. But unfortunately, as luck turns out, first, the recording for when I found our very first shiny is completely gone. I have absolutely no idea what happened to it, where it went, or what went wrong. But out of the slew, and I mean, look at this, y'all. I will prove it to you in screenshots. Out of the bevy of videos that I have recorded for this one specific challenge only, I even have most of it saved to my external hard drive. That's how much video footage I have for this. I couldn't find it. I could not find for the life of me the moment where we caught our shiny Metapod. That was our first shiny that we encountered in this challenge. And for some odd reason, it's just completely blank. So I apologize that we're starting off a little bit rough, but the first bit of this challenge is a little bit rough, and that's okay. The first starter that we find is a Metapod, and that's really bad for us because it only knows Harden, and we had to grind it out to level 10. If you don't know, in Let's Go, the way that you grind is by catching Pokemon, because by catching and chaining Pokemon, you actually increase the amount of experience that you gain from capturing. So battling, whether that be trainers or wild Pokemon, is actually completely out of the picture. Wild Pokemon you cannot fight unless they're like stagnant battles such as Snorlax or the legendaries. And trainers, they only give you a little bit of money and very little experience. So it is very difficult to grind in this game unless you're actively trying to complete the Pokédex or catching lots of Pokemon for capture combos. Kind of a cool incentive to, you know, complete the Pokédex and shiny hunt. But regardless of all of those facts, we went ahead, we got our shiny Butterfree, and for some unknown reason, Georgie's wanted us to go ahead and nickname the Butterfree Monkeys Over Eagles. Apparently Mike and Georgie's have been having some sort of argument where Misk was in favor of the monkeys and Mike was in favor of the Harpy Eagles. I don't know what the heck was going on exactly. However, this is what we decided for our first nickname for our first Pokemon, and this is exactly what we go with in order to fight the first gym. As luck would have it, I ended up losing more footage than I actually originally thought I did. So the first section of the game where I went to fight Brock and explore Pewter City actually got cut. I'm not tremendously mad about this. I searched and scoured my files to see if I could find it, but unfortunately wasn't there. Reason I'm not too mad about it though is because I actually had to end up using the Pikachu, the starter Pikachu, to fight the first gym, which I felt kind of went against the challenge itself. So I'm actually glad that we actually genuinely started the challenge up a little bit later. So when the challenge started back up, it was actually after the E3 Treehouse demonstrations where I actually was on stream and I transferred over to my Let's Go file, and then I actually started playing from there. As you can see, I started up and you can see that I have Eagles over Monkeys and Monkeys over Eagles. Once again, tying back to the feud that Misk and Acevedo had. With this said, however, currently we were shiny hunting for a Pokemon and we were hoping that we could find a shiny Mankey, as I thought that would round out the team pretty nicely. At the moment we were pretty weak to rock, so I thought it would be a good idea to have a fighting type Pokemon on the team. This being said, however, beggars cannot be choosers, but we ended up actually getting something pretty cool, and it was a shiny Sandshrew. With your guys' help, of course, we went ahead and nicknamed the shiny Sandshrew Isabel and proceeded forward. We went to the route in front of Mount Moon, proceeded through Mount Moon, and got through all the shenanigans in there, defeating trainers, defeating Team Rocket, collecting the fossil, and making it to the other side before reaching Cerulean City. Once we get to Cerulean, we actually go ahead and start taking care of business. First by challenging our rival Trace to a rival battle, then we go ahead and take on the Nugget Bridge Challenge. After we're done with the Nugget Bridge Challenge, we head north to the Route 24 Cape where we can get to Bill's house. Bill, being the true blue Pokemaniac that he is, somehow merged himself with a Pokemon. And I have to say once again that the cinematics of this game deliver on showing exactly what happens in the Kanto region, as this was something that is really nice to see fully fleshed out. After we run the transporter machine on him and revert him back to his human form, he gives us tickets to the SSN, which is ported in Vermilion. With this new objective in mind, we can go ahead and make way to Vermilion, but we do have one order of business left in Cerulean City, and that would be the Cerulean City Gym. We enter the gym and don't have any real issues with the gym itself, and then of course we take on Gym Leader Misty. Gym Leader Misty was not that big of a threat and not too big of an issue with our shiny Pokemon. We defeat her handily and then proceed south until reaching Vermilion City. We arrive in Vermilion City and we set out to go seek the SSN as we had originally planned. However, I've noticed that up until this point in the game, we've kind of rambled on about nonsense, this and that, things that we've done here and there, and I think we're going to cut that out. From this moment forward, we're only going to be talking about things that pertain to the story progression and the gameplay itself. With that being said, then, we go ahead and we get to the SSN and we board, where we meet Pokemon Trainer Blue. After this, we explore some of the SSN, and through some of that exploration and training, we're actually able to evolve our Sandshrew into a Sandslash. With this said, we reach the end of the SSN, where the sick captain teaches us the secret technique for chop down, which gives us access to the gym, and with that said, we've completed the SSN, which means we can disembark. When we disembark, this scene plays through, which once again, it's really nice to see these scenes fleshed out in the remake, which are way better than they were in the original yellow version. After this, we run into a familiar face, that being of the trial captain Mina from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or Alola. And then after this, of course, we can go ahead and enter the gym, take on Lieutenant Surge, and defeat him, obtaining the Thunder Badge. After this, we go ahead and proceed by getting a new member on the team. We will go over to Route 11 to the right of Vermilion City to attempt to get a shiny Mr. Mime, or so was the goal. Unfortunately, we did not achieve that goal, but we did end up finding a shiny Rattata that we add to the team. It's a female, so I go ahead and call her Regina because I think that's hilarious. With this said, we then go ahead and proceed by leveling up Regina and training her a bit to make her as strong as the rest of the team, and we bring her up to Route 9 so that we can proceed with the rest of the game. At the end of Route 9 is going to be the Rock Tunnel. Before we can even get to the Rock Tunnel, however, of course, we do end up leveling up Regina, and Regina does evolve into Eradicate. So now we have Eradicate on the team, and then we do enter this cool little sequence where we're introduced to a brand new character, Lorelei. Lorelei of the Elite Four, of course, intercedes when a group of Team Rocket members jumps us because they're not too happy about the events that happened previously, where we beat them. This being said, however, once again, I will point out that I really love the way the game fleshes out. I mean, the game brings these characters to life. It's definitely refreshing because a lot of times the gym leaders and Elite Four members can be very stagnant characters that don't really do anything throughout the games. Once again, once this is over, we do end up going and entering the Rock Tunnel. And we proceed through the Rock Tunnel as normal. Nothing really to report there, aside from when we exit out to the other side and make it to Lavender Town. Once in Lavender Town, we can actually open up a bevy of events that is going to let us get through, once again, what I like to call the quote-unquote boss rush of Gen 1, where the map opens up to you and you're able to do any and all of the things that you'd like to. In Let's Go, it is actually a little bit more linear than it is in Gen 1. You don't have the liberty to really choose in which direction you go. But this being said, that just follows the cinematics that have been prevalent throughout the whole game. We enter the Pokémon Tower and do the events there. Or I should say, we do as much as we can before we get kicked out. As it turns out, we don't have the Silph Scope, and in order for us to progress the game in Let's Go Pikachu, we actually have to go through this sequence where the ghost appears and kicks us out and spooks us out of the tower. With that said, it also spooks Trace and the Cubone that's following after him, and the Cubone actually ends up getting kidnapped by Team Rocket. With this said, we have a new goal in mind to follow Team Rocket over into Celadon City, where we can go ahead and storm their base. After storming their base and going through all of the puzzles and everything that we have to do inside of there, we get to the end where we find their leader, Giovanni. We fight Giovanni in order to go ahead and obtain the Silph Scope, and then this of course brings us full circle back around into the Pokemon Tower. Before we go back to the Pokemon Tower, however, we do go ahead and take on the 4th gym leader of Kanto, Erica. Erica holds a really special place in my heart. For those who know, you know, but it's one of the best gym leaders, I feel like. I'm super happy to see Erica every single time I can in these games. After defeating Erica, we go back to the Pokemon Tower where we can finally use our newly acquired Silph Scope to enter this really nice cinematic of the game. It really shows all the emotion and stuff that they put into these, and like I said, this game takes the cake with their cinematics. It's really good. After this, of course, we get to the top where we can find and save Mr. Fuji, otherwise known as Dr. Fuji, who is actually out there praying for the restless spirit of Cubone's mother, Marowak. In order to go ahead and bring him back down, though, we do have to defeat Team Rocket once again, which they just are a nuisance, showing up out of nowhere. And then after that, we get the Pokeflute. Now at this point, once again, once we get the Pokeflute, we do get the map opened up to us. We can go in any direction that we so please, and we actually end up getting all the way down to Fuchsia City. In Fuchsia City, of course, we're looking a little bit shabby on our team members, and I was thinking that this is about around the time where we want to go ahead and add another team member to the team. Before we do so, however, we did want to check out Koga's gym, and we enter this bullshit. So apparently this game has a hyperfixation on you completing the Pokédex. So in order for us to do so, we actually have to have a certain amount of species collected in order to enter Koga's gym, that being 50. I didn't really want to go ahead and catch 50 Pokemon, and I needed a brand new shiny to add to the team, so I thought I'd knock out two birds with one stone. In Let's Go Pikachu, they actually replaced the Safari Zone that is typically here in Fuchsia City with the Pokemon Go Park. Now, if you guys didn't know, the reason that Let's Go is named Let's Go is because it's actually an extension of the Pokemon Go games. Or at least that's how I view it. They are pretty cool, and it's nice to see that they integrated the mobile app a little bit more, and it made for a pretty solid game, but that's really all it came to, was a decently solid game. With this said, however, we can use the Pokemon Go Park mechanic to go ahead and bring over more than 50 species that we need in order to enter the gym. And then, of course, I went ahead and when I was playing Pokemon Go, while doing this challenge, I actually ran into this random shiny Eevee, and I thought, why the heck don't we add it to the team? So we bring the Eevee over, we get the species that we need to enter the gym, and then, of course, we go ahead and catch up that Eevee to our levels and nickname it Fish Pussy. As a callback to my first PTTA episode where we accidentally named our Jolteon Fish Pussy. So I think we've wasted enough time on the small details now, so let's go ahead now and hit the rest of this boss rush in order. So we end up re-entering Koga's gym and defeating him soundly, obtaining the Soul Badge. After obtaining the Soul Badge, we decide that we're going to continue south and make our way over to Cinnabar Island so we can complete the tasks over there. However, on our way over in the Seafoam Islands, we end up running into a Shiny Jinx. Shiny Jinx wasn't the Pokemon we were after. We were actually looking for a Slowbro so that we can make that a Mega Slowbro by the time we got to the end of the game. However, that didn't end up in our favor, and we did end up nicknaming Jinx Ganguro after the style or fashion that it was named after, which was really prevalent in the 90s in Japan. It had something to do with like extravagant colors and apparently blackface. I don't know. Anyways, after this, we make our way over to Cinnabar Island, and then of course we go ahead and we enter the Pokemon Mansion, where we end up discovering the origins about Mew through reading through the diaries, and the origins of Mewtwo and the horrible lab experiments that happened down under the watch of Dr. Fuji. After this, we get the key that allows us to enter Blaine's gym, and after entering Blaine's gym, we go ahead and defeat him soundly and obtain the Volcano Badge. After the Volcano Badge, we make our way back over to Silph, which is going to be the next big area that we're going to be defeating the Fighting Dojo. We're going to be taking on the rest of the Silph Company, defeating Giovanni's second-in-command Archie, and also Giovanni himself. And then, of course, we take on Sabrina and her gym so that we can obtain the Marsh Badge and make our way over to the last stretch of the game, being Viridian City. In Viridian City, we then of course go ahead and take out Giovanni in his gym, discovering that he is the last gym leader and getting the Earth Badge. After obtaining the Earth Badge, of course, everybody finds out Giovanni was the last gym leader, and the gym is actually ended up taken over by Pokemon Trainer Blue, which actually falls in line with the Gen 2 events. After this, of course, we end the boss rush and we're entering the final stretch of the game, the Victory Road and the Elite Four. Alrighty, that wraps up the boss rush of this game. So now, at this point, we end up at the very end. We make our way over to the Victory Road, and we get through without really any trouble. So we end up at the other side at the Indigo Plateau. The Indigo Plateau is where the Elite Four and the champion of the Kanto region sit. And we finally made it so that we can go ahead and defeat the Elite Four. So we start off as always with Lorelei. Then we move over to Bruno's fight. Next after that is going to be Agatha. And then of course Dragon Master Lance at the very end. As is suit with the rest of the Gen 1 games, Lance informs us that our rival Trace has actually made it before we did, making him the champion. So, of course, naturally, we start the very final battle of the game and fight Trace. At the very end, we pretty much have a one-sided battle with Trace. Thankfully, all of our Pokemon were leveled up properly, and we made it to the absolute end. Holy crap. That was a marathon, y'all. But I'm super excited and happy that you guys were able to join me. This video took me way longer than I expected it to do. We are about a couple months in. I'm trying to record this one, I'm not gonna lie. Finding those shinies was a little bit difficult. I did have a bit of a dry spout there. But no worries, we made it to the end and we did answer the question, can you defeat Pokemon Let's Go with shinies only? Yes, you can. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Of course, this is non-scripted as well, completing that part of the challenge itself, and I'm super happy. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, and of course, join me over on my socials or in the links in the description below. What more you want to hear, what more you want to see, and what would you guys like for me to be my next challenge video? Super excited to hear back from you guys. I have a lot in store moving forward, but anyways, you guys have been amazing. I've been TrainerOblivio, and TrainerOblivio, check it out. Have a good one, y'all.